Explanation of the facts and a full presentation of the entire incident. Instead, the video has been released by the TV before the TBI has completed its investigation and the District Attorney General has completed his prosecutorial function. To release it without any narrative or context causes confusion in the community, the potential for further division between law enforcement and the people we serve, and invites people to draw their own conclusions without any facts. It is the opinion of the Fraternal Order of Police that releasing this video in this manner does not serve the better interest of anyone who is involved in the community at large. The video released earlier today was captured by a low-resolution camera, which produced a grainy video and in no way pointed to a complete image of what occurred. Unfortunately, the extent to which we rely on what we see on TV or in the movies makes it difficult to evaluate an officer's real-life use of force. Many people believe that any video is an accurate report of what really happened. In this case, the low-resolution surveillance camera was located on a different block, elevated, and quite a distance away from the actual incident. As a result, the video from that camera is limited in its ability to tell the full story. This is especially true because the accompanying facts from a completed investigation could not be included. By way of comparison, consider the number of high-resolution cameras and myriad of camera angles that are deployed to overturn or confirm on-field rulings in this professional sporting event. The perception of the viewer is often changed when the full picture is presented. Many different camera angles and the investigation can provide facts and support the actual events. Obviously, this is not what we experienced with today's release. If anything, today's video tells us what we already know. That an incident occurred where an Officer Delke was forced to fire shots at an armed individual who was a felon. Although not apparent from the video or the current coverage of the incident, it is factually undisputed that 1, Mr. Hambrick was armed with a 9mm Beretta pistol, which was in his hand at the time of the shooting. 2, Officer Delke gave Mr. Hambrick repeated commands to drop the weapon. 3, Officer Delke told Mr. Hambrick that he would fire on him if he did not drop the pistol. And 4, most importantly, Mr. Hambrick refused to drop the pistol. Had he dropped his weapon and just kept running, the conclusion of that incident would be much different than what we are faced with today. I am confident that Mr. Hambrick would be alive. In today's environment, police officers are commonly expected to exceed the limits of human performance. It is well known that an armed suspect facing away from an officer can fire at the officer by twisting his body around, reaching across his body and firing over his shoulder or under his arm, or simply by swinging his arm backward and firing the weapon upside down. All of these actions can take place in the blink of an eye, and no human being on this earth can react in time to prevent himself from being shot. A police officer who finds himself similarly situated and gives appropriate and reasonable commands to drop the weapon should reasonably believe that their life is in danger. The reaction of any officer placed in that situation should be to do what is necessary and reasonable to protect their life and the lives of the community at large. It is our firm belief that Officer Delke acted reasonably under the totality of the circumstances, within the confines of the law and departmental policies. We are confident that an independent investigation conducted by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation will reflect that and totally exonerate him. Furthermore, after the release of the video, Nashville Mayor David Briley held a press conference in which he stated that no mother should ever have to bury their child. The Nashville Fraternal Order of Police wholeheartedly agrees with that opinion. The pain of such an event is unimaginable. Regardless of the circumstances, we offer our condolences to the Hambrick family as they navigate this tragic event. We must also remember, Officer Delke has been forced to live his worst nightmare. No officer ever wakes up and wishes to take the life of another human being. When it occurs, it is something that haunts them for the rest of their days. Mayor Briley went on to say that our police should only be required to make a snap decision to discharge their weapons when absolutely necessary. We firmly believe that any time an individual places a firearm in their hand in an encounter with the police, that it becomes absolutely necessary to make that snap decision. We do not believe that the decision on the part of the officer is to blame. The snap decision Officer Delke was forced to make was not of his own doing. He was reacting to a suspect who produced a firearm in a confrontation with the police From our perspective, his reaction was absolutely necessary and reasonable given the circumstances. Any insinuation that police officers need more accountability as a result of this incident completely ignores the actions of Mr. Hamrick, his refusal to comply with lawful orders from the police officer. In conclusion, we ask the community to wait patiently as the TBI conducts their investigation, and that before any conclusions are drawn, we wait until all of the facts can be presented. Thank you.
That is James
We won't be
Smallwood.
taking any questions until the investigation is complete. We want to make sure that all the facts are out.
That is James Smallwood. He is the president of the local Fraternal Order of Police chapter there, saying he would not take any more questions. The FOP outlining its displeasure with the release of new surveillance video of the officer-involved shooting incident that took place a couple of weeks ago. The TBI continues its investigation. We will continue to follow this case until